to embark on a grand journey filled with treasure and tales of adventure
into the world of character development? Well, whether you are a novelist, screenwriter, author, or just a storyteller at heart, today's video is all about tapping into the art of crafting incredible characters. Greetings, fellow storytellers. I am Dylan Barr, former best-selling author for nonfiction book The Happiness Gap and current co-creator in a series of comics called Tales of Bestunia. We're going to talk about some of these characters today. I am thrilled to partner with selfpublishing.com to talk everything character bio templates for you today. So buckle up, because for the next minutes, we are going to go into the intricacies, the avenues, the rabbit holes of what makes great characters for the book you are writing. Now, let's get ready to elevate your writing skills.
intro.
All right, now time to hang this pirate flag up back where it belongs. But while I do that, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe buttons to ensure that you never miss out a video from me or anyone else in the self-publishing world, so you can better your career. All right, picture this. You've all been there. Reading a book where your hands are gripped to the page as you turn, and you continue to turn those pages over and over and over again. You don't want to go to bed at night. You're staying up until 11, 12, 1 in the morning because you're enthralled with a book. What creates that? Is it this incredible external challenge that is fallen onto the characters of your book that they have to constantly get past? Maybe is it the interweavings of events that continue to happen that make things more and more challenging as the protagonist and their friends journey onwards? If you ask me, it's being enthralled with the characters of a story and their internal struggles. Characters that you see yourself in, characters that you can learn lessons from, characters that live and breathe and they feel like they're your best friends. Characters we love to hate, characters we hate to love. It's internal struggles, and that comes with creating incredible characters by an author. And if you aspire to have a book that people are gripped to, you want to make sure you have characters that people can relate to, people can get frustrated with, people can fall in love with, and doing that takes time on the front end to craft these characters the right way. Enter the character bio template. Let's see how we can bring your characters to life. All right, first off, let's demystify the character bio, because I think a lot of aspiring authors are authors or want to be authors because they want to create, they want to put something out there, and a character bio template sounds like the homework you should be doing before getting started. And as someone starts to tell you about it, you try not to doze off, right? But instead, the way that we can look at a character bio template is almost a portal into the identity of the characters that are going to bring your story to life. Taking time to have a well-structured character template is going to serve as a compass for you as an author to know the intricacies of your characters, how they think, how they operate, how they react to certain situations. Shocker, all your characters are not going to be you. And if they were, you're about to write a boring book. So let's take some time to step outside of ourselves and pretend what these characters are feeling, experiencing, thinking on a day-to-day basis. Imagine for a minute being able to create and sculpt characters that have deep depth, deep dimensions of themselves that leave a lasting impact on your readers. For those that don't know me, I'm a huge comic nut. That's why I want to write comics myself. And anytime I'm reading comics, I'll end up buying these Funko Pops of certain characters. Netero from Hunter x Hunter, Bakugo, or All Might from My Hero Academia. For you Dungeons and Dragons nerds out there, Drizzt Do'Urden and his partner, Guinevere, the Panther. These are characters that for me have taught me a lesson to help shape my life. When I'm going through tough times, I look at these Funko Pops as a recalling of the values I want to portray in my life. An author did that for me. And you as an aspiring author have the same power that you want to wield properly to give that to your readers. So having a character bio template is going to lead you through these thought-provoking questions on how your characters operate, the lessons they can teach, and their backstory that shapes who they are, that motivates their beliefs on a day-to-day basis. So let's take some time and use character bios as a way to accentuate the art that we are going to put on paper. So really, when it comes down to it, creating a good character is really utilizing an art of connection that your readers are going to have into your book and into you as an author. As an author, I'm always thinking, how can I create more books in my series? Well, the best way to do that is to create characters that people love to hate to love, they want to continue to follow. Maybe even after the main story is done, you have side quest stories that you can tell about your characters. People want to stay connected. People want more. You have that opportunity. So let's dive into the questions you're going to want to ask yourself as you start to think of these characters. My background is not only in writing, my main background is actually in business and consulting. I consulted overseas for 3.5 years. I lived in Kenya in that time, and I worked all throughout East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, and Southeast Asia. And I worked with companies to help them increase their revenue so they could grow. And the way to increase results is to have frameworks to think within. I love frameworks. I live and die by frameworks. They give me a box to first think within so then I can think outside of. That's what I want to think of when we're putting together a character template, is what are some of the framework questions we can ask ourselves about our characters. Now, the first thing we're going to want to think about when crafting a good character is what is their external journey and their internal journey. And I promise you the latter is going to be what grips your readers a bit more. Let's take my book, The Tales of Bestunia, as an example. The premise of The Tales of Bestunia is people within this world are gifted at birth a spiritual beast that is called their calling. This calling represents the person's life work from birth. They have a constant reminder of looking at something to say, what is it that I'm destined to do in this world? And as they grow up and grow into their calling, their beast matures and grows along with them. Everyone is born in this world with a calling and knows exactly what it is and can work towards it every single day. Up until 13 years ago, where the god that gifts these beast goes missing and the world is trying to bring him back. Enter my main character, Joan Daniels, is born a no beast, not knowing her calling in the world, struggling to be the best that she can be, even though she has a distinct disadvantage in this world. And one day she carries with her this necklace that magically erupts, and out of it not only comes the first calling that has been gifted in the last 13 years, but the calling is the lost god himself. And it's up to Joan to bring this god back to his rightful home to restore balance to Bestunia, right? So the first template is her external journey is to bring this god back to his home. That is her external journey throughout the entire series. Her internal journey is having pride of being a no beast, seeing the negativities of people that have callings that are better or holier than thou in this society, having a disdain for callings, yet also not knowing what her calling is and feeling as though she was just given what she's supposed to do in life. She's stuck between wanting to find her calling out herself and having the most important calling in the world. She has this internal struggle of, I want to figure this out for me. So once you know your character's external journey and internal journey, we can start to kind of color between the lines of their personality, asking yourself questions like, what are the traits this person has? What are they known for? What's their personality like? For those out there that get really into personality types, what's their Myers-Briggs? What's their Enneagram? What are their top 5 strength and strength finders? If these are things that you're attuned to, ask yourself this. If you love researching these personalities, ask yourself this. In our template, you'll see some people really care about zodiac signs. I'm a Sagittarius, so you can tell me who I am in the comments. Are you dealing with a Libra main character? Are you dealing with a Virgo side character? Are you dealing with a Taurus? You know, understanding a little bit about their traits. What makes them tick? What are their triggers? What are their life philosophies? Start to ask yourself these questions and jot them down so you know your characters the same way you would know a close friend of yours. It's a big thing that I've discussed with other author friends is you never want to make a character that is just perfect in every sense. We want to make sure your characters have flaws of their own. So a question you might ask is a question that I would ask my friends often is, what 7 deadly sin controls your character's life the most? Whether it's pride, envy, greed, wrath, sloth, gluttony, or lust. What is it that when put in a situation, we don't know if they're going to make the right decision or succumb to one of these sins? A great example of this is actually from this pirate flag over here. In the comic or manga One Piece, you see that a lot of the Straw Hat pirates fall into this conundrum of great traits, sin that holds their life down. You know, whether it's Sanji, who is this brave and valiant warrior, but is shackled by lust. Now, he shows it more in a romantic way, but if you put him in a situation where he has to either make a very important decision that could help the whole team or go gaga eyes over a lovely woman, you have no idea what he's going to choose. In the same way that Nami, the ship's navigator, is an incredible navigator. The crew relies on her for her navigation, but she is the most greedy person in the world. If you put treasure on the line, she will sail off in the wrong direction in order to attain it. Another great character will be Zoro, who is an incredible swordsman. He aims to be the best swordsman in the world, but he does suffer from sloth. You'll see him falling asleep before a big battle. It's to the extremes, which you can do if you want. I personally love that more as a reader because it makes me laugh and it makes me see this person as human. We relate to those that are human, not godly in how they operate. So ask yourself, what is it that gives your character the negatives? What is it that gives your characters a weight that actually holds them back to their fullest potential? Because we all have that in our lives. Obviously, below in the link in the description, you'll be able to have a character bio template that you can click on, download for free to work through some of these thoughts. You don't have to fill out the whole thing, but start to get a good picture of who this character is. How do they react to those around them? How do they react to the main character? How do they react to side characters? How do they react to those that are higher than them in society? How do they react to those that are lower than them in society? And for you advanced nerds that are still here, one of my favorite questions to ask is, what are the conflicting characteristics of your character? Characteristics that seem to be completely polar opposite of how they conduct themselves internally and how they can show up externally at times. One of my favorite examples in my own books is Artie. Artie is the side character for Joan, and Artie, also born without a beast, vows to be a great defender of Bastunia. He idolizes the heroes of this society. He wants to be valiant. He wants to be a man of honor, just like them. He wants to stand up for the little man. But when push comes to shove and people get in his face, he is the biggest baby. He will be the first to back down. He will show his fear and put his tail between his legs before anybody else. And being able to read and follow the journey of Artie to be like, please don't be a baby. Please stand up for yourself, is something that we want to use to draw our readers in. I want to use that to empathize with a potential reader, for them to see him and say, man, that's just like me. Now, it's not just like me, the author. I want to make characters that are different, just like you want to make characters that are different. And the way to do that is to take the time before writing to really craft out your characters and their personalities. Your protagonists, your antagonists, your secondary characters, your tertiary characters, your mentors, your comedic relief. Any of these characters, really make sure you take the time to have the right frameworks so you have the right lens to see them through. And if you do that, you'll shock yourself in where you take your book. Your characters will start writing this story themselves, and you'll find yourself just along for the journey. And that is the best book to write and to read. So there you have it. We have traveled the waters of what it takes to create lasting characters, characters that will leave an impression and an imprint on your readers, hopefully for the rest of their lives, where they're putting little figures of your characters on their shelves in their office. As I said before, if you yourself would want a character bio template, check out the link in the description below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down. Say something in the comments. Make fun of me. I stumble over words and I'm an author. Make fun of my beard, whatever you want. But if this is something you'd like more of, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can constantly be notified of when we drop more videos where I come to you to share some knowledge. And until next time, happy storytelling.